everybody. My name is Matt Gibson and this project is called St.Martins Lane. It involves the adaptation to a Victorian terrace house located within the City of Melbourne. It resides on a corner allotment adjacent to laneway and located on St. Martins Lane, a smallish plot of approximately 5 by 30 metres, sits within an eclectic medium density pocket of South Yarra, tucked just behind the restaurant strip of Domain Road. These are the existing floor plans portraying a small 2-bedroom terrace layout. The clients are a professional couple with 2 young kids who lived internationally and had just come back to Melbourne, were keen to live in a city, and they loved the location and hence were keen to develop this site, even though it's rather confined for the long term. This is the property. It was in a heritage overlay, categorised with a D grade listing and a level 3 streetscape, so not too much to worry about there. There were heritage provisions, however, given that there's a side view of the laneway and of the building that stipulated that a contrasting addition was promoted, distinguishing old and new, and a recessive approach and set well back from the principal building and streetscape. Our client's brief objectives, in summary, were to provide a home that could facilitate for a growing family of 4 or 5, and also cater for a dedicated work from home environment where clients could be brought in, so not just them working from home, they could bring in clients and have a public interface, if you like, and increase the amount of outdoor living and garden space where there was previously a depletion of. So this meant essentially demolishing the rear wing and carport and building afresh at the rear, reducing the footprint at ground level and building vertically, allowing for the reinstatement of greater private open space and garden area. So these are the plans. Situated adjacent the side laneway, a key move in combating the narrow nature of the site was to shift the entrance from the front door, the usual place, to the central side of the property. And this, in fact, was the single most pivotal move of the project and set up the entire strategy for the architecture and the interior, for that matter. This assisted in giving back the front entry areas to a functioning private open space, and also, importantly, ensured that the elimination of front to rear circulation corridors, giving the tight width of the site, for full width ground floor living areas. And it also set up this programmatic kind of arrangement of old and new. And so then on the second floor, it kind of neatly allowed for sleeping quarters, so adults in the heritage building to the left and kids on the right. So in essence, it was living on the ground, sleeping on the second, and then the home office is on the 3rd level, 2nd floor plan there. And which, importantly, it could be directly accessed via the stair, so pretty much off the pavement and up to the home office. And then the 4th level is a rooftop garden with views of the botanic gardens beyond, and offering, this layout offered a very generous yet extremely efficient use of space, formal and informal, children and adults, dwelling and workplace. So in a clear conceptual diagram, old and new are separated via the new entry and glazed circulation stair that mediates both building and floor levels. Considered an almost public space, the stair has full view of the laneway, activating it and providing a level of security and community connection in a unique entry sequence reminiscent of higher density European neighbourhoods. Whilst unconventional, the act of navigating the site entry involves a series of thresholds as one approaches and then actually enters the building. At this point, the white brick of the old building, the dark perforated metal of the new, act as clearly separate pavilions. External materials run inside and out what seems like an external walk-up stair, with glazed roof above and mirror behind reflect the context of the laneway, further accentuating their distinction and the conceptual idea of a negative space between 2 buildings. Once inside, this is looking back toward the front of the house, where the kitchen and dining spaces have been flipped from rear to front. And these little moments here, like on the right there, are some of the best aspects of the house for us. You know, these idiosyncratic moments such as the front door being reinterpreted, where it's obvious that an old purpose has been reinterpreted for a new, and where stories can be told. And these front rooms spill out onto a breakfast courtyard, again reinterpreted, and this space is used a lot in the summer. The doors can open and it's facing south, so lovely and cool and shady. Collaborating with Kestie Lane Studio on FF&E, A combination of internal and external materials are composed such that there is a mix of external raw and exposed materials with the polished and the luxurious. This is the view from the old front door back through the kitchen and to the stair space. The owner brought in some key bespoke items that they wished to incorporate, such as a polyform kitchen, and whom he worked with Kestie to incorporate. This is the view through to the family living zone at the rear, where there's a refined level of texture and tactility, and whilst contrasting differences have been accentuated through the house, the continuity of finish throughout both buildings provides a continuous harmony and through the entirety of the home. This is the view from, warm finishes were used, oak timber floors, polished plaster and drapery create a pared back, delicate aesthetic punctuated with bolder statements. This is the view from the rear elevation where the family zone runs into the, through to the rear deck and garden, and then through to the front of the property. The barrel-shaped form on the right there is a stair down to the lower basement zone, which declutters the uses on the upper levels for further amenities such as a powder room, library and reading area, and further storage. The home features many bespoke elements where Kestie worked with expert artisans and craftspeople to provide some truly unique pieces, such as this carved granite fluted pedestal basin and the steel frame doors and handles, amongst other things. Circulation throughout is via the central stair. Above ground, this part of the building, there's a central stair. There was a degree of difficulty in getting the 4 levels of one building to plug into the 2 levels of the other, but with head heights and the like. But this view here on the left is towards the master bedroom or the main bedroom suite, and to the right is to the new building and the kids zone down below, and then home office above and stair to the top, to the roof deck. Within the upper level of the existing building, the main bedroom and ensuite are housed within the updated yet intact remnants of the Victorian building, where the interior respects the essence of the original home, striking a balance between a new pared-back aesthetic that simultaneously allows existing features to shine. This is a shot of one of the kids' bedrooms where the perforated exterior panels graduates in openness, allowing light and ventilation into those rooms whilst preserving privacy to the laneway. And almost an external experience, the stair up to the roof deck. This is where the verticality of the building becomes apparent, and there's views back over the neighbouring buildings and the laneway. Almost an external experience that recalls a Parisian-like moment with views over a city. This is where the mirrored in-between wall reflects the context, and whilst and keeping this potentially kind of awkward junction neat and clean. This is the stair up to the roof with a dedicated work from home space on the right there, which has a bar and a balcony deck. We were reliably informed that it was great for COVID early finish Fridays. And then this is the rooftop experience, great in summer evenings. So in conclusion, St Martins Lane celebrates a combined vision between ourselves and Kestie Lane, embracing urban density with elevated functionality, whilst integrating with the character of the neighbourhood and the existing building to create a strong narrative between architecture and interior, specific to this client's needs.